I entered the military in 1955. And the reason that I entered the military was because I was trying to get out of that little small town I lived in, a little place called Nacogdoches, Texas. And it was, during the time that I was there, it was totally segregated, and I wanted to find something better to do with my life. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I often share with people is the fact that they used to tell us that the reason they didn't associate with us is because we had tails. And you know, if the women associated with us, they would grow tails as well. So it's you know, it's an interesting aspect of race relations, I guess, if you want to look at it from that standpoint. My first encounter with that was I was with a young man that we had been working together, and we flew over together, and we had become friends, who happened to be white. And so we both, after we landed and we got settled in and decided, well, let's go find the local population and have a beer. So we went off the base and went to this bar, the first bar we came up on after we leaving the base, because you could walk off the base at Kadena, and you could go to, you know, walk to the nearest bar. So we went in, we were sitting at the same table, and he got waited on and I didn't. So they would not wait on me at that particular time, so we decided we would leave. So as we were leaving, we were walking toward the next bar to see if it was any different there. We met these young men, we were coming back, and they told us that, man, said, you know what, you're gonna have to go to this area over here. They don't let you go in this area over here. And I said, what do you mean they don't let you go in this area? I said, this is like a third world country. And what do you mean we can't go in? So we actually had to split up that night to go and have fun. So I ended up going to a different part of town where he went, and we kind of compared notes after we got back. But it was different, yes. It was certainly different in that aspect. And it was something that you never would expect, being in a place like that, but you know, it happens. I was a fuel guy, putting fuel on airplanes, and I was kind of glad to get out of the fuel business to go into the teaching of race relations. Here on being here in March, I came here in 1977, and I was assigned to the 15th Air Force headquarters. I was a one-person shop for social actions, and I worked for the General Schatz, who was a 3-star 15th Air Force commander. He had me assigned here because of the fact he needed someone to be a social actions expert. It was an interesting job because of the fact that you are the eyes and ears for the commander and for the command, which is the numbered Air Force, rather, 15th Air Force. And it was interesting because it was where you go to the base and you sit and talk to people and you interact with individuals who are having problems. Whether it be, because if you're a one-man shop, that means you're doing the race relations, it means you're doing the drug and alcohol, and you're doing the equal opportunity treatment, you're doing everything, you know, so you're trying to keep everything together. And I should say that by the time we got to that point, we had changed the name from race relations to human relations, because we had figured that we had ruled out and roughed out basically the race part of it, so it was now getting people to get along with each other, period. But I was up in front of the class and we were talking about selective exposure and being exposed to groups of people. And this young lady who was sitting in the class got up and ran out of the class, started crying. And I said, oh my God, what did I do? And so we took a break, and I had to go and try to talk to her, and she told me that I had touched a nerve, because she says, if you can't believe what your parents teach you, what can you believe? And she said, I was always told this about certain groups of people, and I was always told these things about certain groups of people. And now I understand why I was being told all those things, and it kind of came to bear. So I said, well, okay. So we reached an understanding of why she felt that way, and you know, and all those things. But there were a lot of revelations, I guess, if you will, that came about like that were in the classrooms. And there were some that was not so good, because there were people who just didn't want to be there and who tried to, who just sit in the corner and just did nothing. Well, I would hope that when I look back and then people look at, I don't want to like to sound morbid when I'm gone, the people would look at me and say, I remember when Sergeant Davis was here, And Sergeant Davis used to try to make sure we all worked together, we all did these things together, and to be very proud of the fact that I was a part of their lives and to kind of help them grow and to help them understand what life is all about. It's not just the military aspect of it, it's being a part of a big conglomerate of, I guess, people in a world that's where we need to have people to keep us safe. So I guess that they think that I did something right. I don't know. So I don't know. But I know that there are some things that I said in classrooms that all over the country that people remember. Things most often repeated are best remembered. You can now find individuals, minority individuals in positions of leadership that you never would have thought would have been there years ago. I remember years ago when I first came in, if you saw a individual of color that was a tech sergeant during that time frame, that was probably about the highest aspect of anybody who I ever knew when I came in would ever reach. And so my goal when I first came in said, well, if I could make it to Master Sergeant, I think I'd be successful. And fortunately I made it to Senior Master Sergeant, so I don't know if that means I'm doubly successful or not. The strongest aspect of possibly being a veteran is the fact that, you know, we all served and we all knew what we were doing. We didn't just get drafted to go in, we volunteered and we knew what we wanted and we knew what we were trying to do. And we did it in the name of the United States. We wanted to try to make sure that we keep it and preserve it and keep it the way it is. But it was all worth it, I think. I enjoyed the whole aspect of being a part of something big, and I just think it's the greatest thing in the world to be in the military. I think it's a great place to be. I think everybody should be in the military.